Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another layout for the Cocoa Vanilla Studio design team today, and of course I'm still playing with the beautiful Legendary collection. I was challenged this time to make the flare buttons the focus of my layout, so they are going to feature quite heavily. And I'm using these photos of my little man. You can see I've printed out 4 photos. This was him at one of our local restaurants. He'd just gotten this bowl of ice cream. It was one of the first real bowls of ice cream that he'd gotten to himself, and as you can see he's very excited about it and he very much enjoyed it. So yeah, it's just one of those little kind of everyday memories that I really wanted to document. So I'm starting here with a cut file. As you can see, it is a gumball machine. This is from Confessions of a Paper Addict cut files on Etsy, and I am just going to start backing the base of the machine with the pattern papers from the collection. So I just used quite a few of the different patterns. I am tracing the inside of the cut file, flipping it over, putting it on the back of the paper, tracing it, and then I will trim the shape out just slightly bigger than the pencil lines so that when I go to glue it down it is just the right size. So a little bit of tacky glue around the edges and then popping my little shape down. There we go. And I'll skip ahead in a minute and you'll see the whole thing is backed. I just leave the large circular, like the top, that would be the glass. I didn't back that because that would be kind of see-through in real life. So there you go, you can see it's all backed. I've backed all the little gumballs in a variety of colours and patterns. I've just tried to get as many different primary colours on this layout as possible. Now, I'm playing around with some background papers. I don't actually end up going with anything like this, actually. I bring in some kind of brighter colours because this was just looking a little bit too drab for me for this kind of layout. So that is roughly how my photos are going to go. So I'm just playing with kind of positioning of those before I start to back them. So I'm doing just some simple photo mats today. I am going to back the photos in this bright orange paper. I will also use the arrows and the green and white stripe, and I think one of the blue pattern papers too. So you can see I'm just kind of alternating between the photo mats. So those 2 will be the same, and then the other 2 will be the same. So yeah, it just breaks it up a little bit. So these ones I'm backing on this brushstroke, kind of blue, mixed media-y looking paper. And I've just kind of stuck them in a weird spot on the paper because I was trying to get kind of as much of the deeper blue colours as I could. There we go. And then I'll back those again on this white background with arrows paper. I really like that pattern. I use that same one to back the base of the gumball machine. And then this green stripe on the back of the orange. So just 2 simple photo mats on each photo, quite thin. There's a lot of colour going on this layout, so I just kind of wanted a little bit of interest. Nothing that took too much attention away. Just sped this up super speedy. There we go. So now I'm working on my background. This is what I've decided to do. So I've gutted the middle of that rainbow stripe paper out, and I've just bordered it with a plain white cardstock. I think that was actually cardstock I had left over from cutting the cut file out. Yeah, it is, because you can see the cut out bit there. So I'm just using a little bit of tacky glue to hold that in place, and then I'm popping on this bright yellow cardstock. So I just really like the colour that this combination brings to the background. I really like that bright colourful rainbow stripe, and then the bright yellow just really helps to cheer up this layout. So there we go. Once I've done all that, I am going to go in and just distress all the edges of my photo mats, and then I will go in with my sewing machine and add a layer of, there you go, just 1 line of white stitching just inside those 3 layers. That will help keep everything together, but I also just really like the texture. Now I'm going through with my 1/4 inch punch and punching out a bunch of circles out of all the little paper scraps I have, all different colours. I'm not going to use these straight away, but you'll see in a minute what I'm going to use these for. There we go. I'm just having a bit of a play. I had a few ideas for this layout, but yeah, just too many ideas to actually use. So just going down my cut file now. I could have popped this up on foam. It would have looked really good if I'd popped it up on foam, but I'm just trying to keep things a little flatter in my layouts these days, and I'm going to add flare, so that's going to add enough dimension, I think. Coming in now with some splatters, I'm using a Coral Hardy Swap Colour Shine, and this dries on the yellow. It dries very, very subtle actually. You can barely see it. And I'm trying to make sure that I get some on the white border as well. I just really want it to kind of spill off the edge, and yeah. Now this I am doing here is some white Liquitex acrylic ink and some blue mist, and I'm just adding a little bit to start with. And what this does is it makes the mist really opaque, because the ink is very opaque, and you can see like it has diluted the color quite a bit, so it's almost white. It's just a very, very pale mint at this point. So what I'm going to do as I go along is add some of those splatters, and then I'm going to add a bit more of the ink to make the color deeper, do some more splatters, add a little bit more ink to make the color even deeper, add some more splatters, so there you can see like ends up quite a deeper kind of tealy turquoise blue, and you just get a bit more of variation in tone and interest without actually using any other colors. So lots of splatters. I'm trying to go on that diagonal because my photos are roughly following that top left to bottom right diagonal line, just like that. So my photo is going to tuck in the top of the cut file like that, with the gumballs kind of overlapping. The bottom of the photo is just blank, plain empty table, so I'm not too worried about covering that up. I'm going to go ahead and glue my photos down now. And you can probably see in the photos that there's quite a bit of dead space. So there's a white table, and there's also a random couple in the background of the photos. So I'm going to do my best to cover those up when I come in with my embellishments. So just gluing everything down, just a bit of tacky glue. Just position that just right. I don't want to cover up any of his little hands or his face or anything like that. So there we go. So now I'm coming in with the flare. I really wanted to put this little star flare right at the bottom, kind of in the dispenser slot of the gumball machine, because it looks like a gumball falling out, I think, especially with it being all 3D and dimensional. This little superstar one I'm going to pop up just in that spot. There's a little bit of a gap, so I really like that up in the gumballs, and then I'm going to pop one in this little spot as well. Okay, so now I'm coming in with the die cut ephemera. I'm just playing around with filling in some of those gaps, and also covering up, like I said, those random people in the background of my photos. So I end up using that fun banner, that pennant. I'll use that little star flag, and what I'm going to use these little circles for is just to kind of fill in all the little gaps. So some tiny word stickers down the bottom of this page, or this photo rather. I think it says you're a character, and something like that. And then this one says love it, just tucking that in, adding some more of these little circles. One of the pages on the cut apart sheets has a white pattern with this little stars all over it, and I really like how that echoes the large flare with the star, so I punched a few of those out and I popped those around the page. That little tag is going to help cover up those people. Same with the little circles. This pennant just fits in there perfectly, covering up those people in the background. And same with this little flag. I do actually trim a little bit off the bottom of this flag because it ended up being just a tad too long, but now it fits just perfectly. And I'm just using a little spot of tacky glue behind all my embellishments to secure those down. And again, just going through with those little circles. I think I do use most of them up. Just try to kind of fill in any of those gaps, and yeah, I think they really fit in on the page. Another circular element doesn't hurt. Just keep that theme going. There we go. Now onto my title, and I'm almost finished. So I will pull in the super from the die cut titles that come with the Legendary collection, and then I'm going to layer the word sweet underneath. They're just some white glitter alphas I have in my stash, foam alphas. Pop those in just in that perfect little gap. There we go. And now enamel dots. So I'm going to do 3 groups of 3, I believe. Just scatter those around at the bottom here, at the top left, and in around the bottom of my title. And I've also gone in off camera. I did film it, but I ended up leaning over my my workspace too far and covering up most of what you could see with my big fat head. But I put in a few lines of journaling just below the title there, just in some grey fine liner pen. It's not too obtrusive. I really like using grey pen because you can still see the journaling, but it doesn't jump out at you. It doesn't take over the page. And that is my layout finished. Don't forget to check out the Coco Vanilla Studio blog. The link will be in the description box. I'm up on there today, so please head over there and check that post out. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.